number two. And we want to check the market to see if we have uh, any tradable setup. Now we have the USD CHF. On our USD CHF, we can see currently uh, a falling wedge, meaning we are likely expecting a bullish movement on USD CHF. Now, all this analysis are purely from the technical perspective. It's what we are seeing in the market now. That's what this analysis is based on. So it's a technical analysis. Now, you will observe that in the last 2 days, there has not been much movement in the market. The market has been kind of quiet. If you check your Forex factory, you discover that there has not been any seriously volatile news in the last 2 days. None in the real sense of it. So, the fundamental actually move the market. Even when you have technical setup, fundamentals can help the setup to become, actualized. So there are some setup that we had earlier, which has not really triggered, likely because we've not had, the market has just been very, very quiet. We've had more of a raging session in the last 2 days. But there's going to be a USD news today, so that could, kind of bring some movement in the market. So by the virtue of this setup we see on USD CHF, we're expecting some bullish movement on USD CHF. So if the news comes out today, I think there's going to be CPI by 1:30 p.m. If it comes out to favor the dollar, then it's going to, be in line with this technical setup, and we expect some strength on the dollar instruments like USD CHF, USD JPY, that to go bullish, while instruments like Euro USD, GBP USD will go bearish. But then we'll wait till the news is released. But now this is a forecast of what to expect for USD CHF today. So you can take note of it. So in essence, what I'm saying is that once price is able to break out of this setup, break out of this setup, then we're expecting a continuous bullish movement on the USD CHF. Next, we'll look at just a second. GBP CHF. Okay. All right. If you see GBP CHF, likewise, it's the same pattern, falling wedge. Now, for GBP CHF, if you go to the higher time frame like weekly, you will see that price is actually playing around a major support level. Okay, sorry, not weekly, let's check the daily. Okay, on the daily time frame for GBP CHF, you can see there's a likelihood of an inverse head and shoulder. So this second shoulder is really looking really projected, but then with this, we're expecting a bullish movement on the long term on GBP CHF. We can also capture this bullish movement on the bigger time frame with the use of a trend line. We can see that price, is touching this trend line on different levels, meaning we're expecting a breakout upwards. We're expecting a breakout upwards. Now, the neckline of the inverse head and shoulder, we have the neckline of the inverse head and shoulder just somewhere around here. This is the neckline. So we're expecting a breakout upwards on this instrument. So if you zoom down to the 1 hour time frame that we had earlier, then we'll see that that setup is still valid, because what we're waiting for now is for price to break out upwards. This is the falling wedge. So we're expecting a breakout. So we're equally bullish biased on GBP CHF. Next, we'll look at, let's check out another instrument. Okay. Let me scroll down this side. Earlier, I gave an analysis that should be on Monday on the NAS 100. If you check the chart now, you can see that analysis playing out. And I remember we've been on this setup since last week, even as far back as when the NFP was to be released. And I remember somebody was asking if you should jump on it when the NFP is released, and I said no. Finally, the setup is working, because on the daily and I think the weekly time frame, we had price hitting support level. Okay, so it's a weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, you can see support levels here, support level here, which turned resistance on this day. So we're expecting price to come up and drop. And when we come down to the 4 hour, which is what is playing at the moment, you can see that price is actually making its way downwards. So currently we are seeing a retracement. There's a difference between retracement and reversal. Retracement happens when price, like in this case, is to go bearish, then it's going up a little. It does not mean that the trade is catching you, You just need to be patient. Price will not go straight down, it will go zigzag. So I believe after a while, this trade will turn down and will still go downwards because this is a very good setup. Price hitting a resistance and we confirm it with a rising wedge and also something that looks very close to a double top. This is a very perfect price action setup. So when you're seeing price going up does not mean the trade is going against you. It's just a retracement. With time, it will face the long-term direction, which is bearish, and will begin to sell. Okay, Euro JPY, good. All right, now this is the setup on Euro JPY. And for most of the JPY pairs, on Monday I said we're bearish bias on them, but then the market has been ranging kind of since then. But we're still hopeful that there will be a breakout. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, I'm taking on Euro JPY at the moment. So this is the setup we have currently on Euro JPY. We are seeing a rising wedge, and currently price is trading. Let's go to the higher time frame to see. Okay, nothing spectacular on the higher time frame on that daily, but then on the 1 hour we have a perfect rising wedge, and we have a minor support here. So once price is able to break this support, then we should have more of a sell movement, a bearish movement on the Euro JPY. But for now, just let's keep watching the setup. Once we have a breakout downwards, then we should get ready for a sell on Euro JPY. So we're bearish biased on the Euro JPY. Okay, let's check GBP-JPY. Wow, GBP-JPY is not stable at the moment because now there's a triangle pattern here. Price hits that many times. Support, resistance, 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 and we have a triangle, and price already broke out. But then you see that instead of coming downwards, it's going upwards. So what do you do in this instance? Currently, price is ranging. That's what it means. It's not finding direction yet. There's no sufficient strength in the market to push price. So what you do is that you place your horizontal line here. This level becomes a minor support level. It becomes a minor support level. So once price is able to break out of this minor support, then we will see a bearish movement on GBP JPY. So we still remain bearish biased on the GBP JPY. Okay, please let me conclude the analysis before you start dropping, the other ones you want me to check. Okay, because like I always say, the ones I'm telling you in class right now, they are the instruments I've analyzed and I can see a very good tradable setup. Any instruments I didn't mention is because there's no specific setup on it. So let's conclude on these ones before we look at other ones that you have in mind. Thank you. Okay, New Zealand JPY. For New Zealand JPY, just like the other JPY pairs, we're still expecting a bearish movement. We're still expecting the bearish movement. Now, this is looking really sharp. It's a sharp, I mean, this is no longer a rising, but it's looking more like a triangle, So if price is able to break the trend line downwards, then we should expect some strong bearish movement on this instrument. Once we're able to have a breakout below like this, then breaking out of the trend line, then we should see a continuous bearish movement on the New Zealand JPY. So we're bearish bias on the New Zealand JPY. All right, so we look at gold. I've been following this one for quite a while now. I still maintain from a technical perspective that this, even fundamentally from NFP last week, I still remain bearish biased on this instrument. As a last, now there's something about setups. A setup may not remain the same forever. Sometimes it changes. If you were part of the class on Monday, the setup was slightly different from this, but over time it evolved into something more sharp like this, meaning the market is really getting set for a bearish movement. On Monday, the setup was looking more, more like this. Okay, this thing is hanging. So we still remain bearish bias on gold. We're waiting for breakouts downwards. Once we've been able to establish a breakout downwards, then we see price crashing on gold. But then this is going to be a long, let's say medium-term trade. It's a swing trade. So your trade should trade with a lot of caution because gold is volatile. So trade with a lot of caution. We're expecting a breakout downwards out of this place. And we see some massive movements on gold. So we remain bearish biased on gold. Okay, so let's I have just about two more instruments to show us. I think I've looked at this. So I'm like GBP AUD. Okay, this is GBP AUD. Okay, nothing spectacular. Okay, on 1 hour time frame, I think I cited the setup here on 1 hour. I hope I'm audible enough for everyone. Please, if you can hear me clearly, please type yes. Okay, thank you, Mr. Manu. Okay, GPP card. Okay, that's okay, I think I can see the rising wedge. Sorry, falling wedge rather. Okay, and okay, now this is the one that has the support on the weekly time frame. I think I was mixing it up with GPY the other time. All right, so okay, so on the weekly time frame, we found that price hit a support level. So we're expecting a bullish movement. So if you go down to the 1 hour time frame, then we've established a rising wedge. Currently, price hits the trend line of the rising wedge. So what we're looking at now, fine, price is looking like it's facing downwards. Yeah, it may come down to hit the support level, then break out. On the short term, it's a sell, but on the long term, it's a buy. But I would rather wait for that long term than the short term. And also, you need to understand that there's a minor resistance that price will have to break here. Because when it comes down here, then it's going to form a double bottom. It's going to form a double bottom here, then break out upwards from there. So we're bullish biased on this instrument. Okay, so that's it on the instruments I have for us. So let me look at the ones you want me to check for you. Euro JPY, CHF JPY. Okay, I've checked Euro JPY. So let's look at CHF JPY, USD card, GBP, CHF. I've looked at GBP CHF already and Euro USD. Okay, so let's check all of them. Now, when the markets don't force a trade. When a setup is not forming, don't be in a hurry, just wait. Don't say, oh, the markets, I expect this thing, let me just dump it to go in that direction. You don't trade Forex that way. You must have a reason for a trade, a very cogent reason. And that's why we always say trade, always trade, plan your trade and trade your plan. If your plan is not working, if you're not seeing it on the chart, stay out. When you stay out, you are not losing. In fact, you are protecting your capital when you stay out of the trade. So don't be in a hurry to want to trade all the time. Don't develop itching fingers when trading forex. You know what I mean? Itching fingers. There's nothing happening. You just want to enter. You'll come up with a lot of losing trades if you do that. So for the person asking about GBPCHF, this is the game. It's a falling wedge, and on the daily time frame, we saw a trend line that's you know we believe will make the trade to go upwards. We're expecting a breakout here. So once we establish a breakout of this trend line, then we're good to buy GBP So we're bullish buyers on GBP and CHF JPY. Now I want to tell us something about CHF JPY. CHF JPY is positively correlated to Euro JPY, meaning they behave exactly the same way. So whatever you're seeing on Euro JPY, you see on CHF JPY. That's how it happens. And I would not advise to trade both of them at the same time. It's better to pick one, stick with one per time, you know, because sometimes the CHF pairs, because the CHF as an instrument doesn't have much fundamentals, it can be choppy, it can be ranging a lot of times. So it's especially CHF as an instrument we trade with a lot of caution. It's not really too volatile, but They just often have the same setup you will find on Euro JPY. So this is CHF-JPY, and currently it's not giving us any direct pattern. Yes, I can cite a trend line. And like I said, the instruments I analyzed for us are the ones I've looked through and I'm able to cite specific patterns. Like here, nothing spectacular here. I can't cite any serious even the trend line is not, the price is still far away from it. So it's not something you want to wait for. Okay, however, on the daily time frame, I'm seeing something beautiful here. I can see that, but it's a bit of a long term, but you can watch it. I can see a formation of a head and shoulder, a shoulder, head, and second shoulder. So it's actually getting ready for a sell. But then on 1 hour time frame, price is still far away from that trend line. So I will advise you stick with Euro JPY for now. That Euro JPY has a potential to sell more. It has a better bearish setup for now compared to CHF JPY. Though let's go to 4 hours. It might look better on 4 hours. Even on 4 hour, nothing to accept. Maybe by 10 o'clock, if it's able to close at this level and forms a double top, well, I form a double top, and if it forms a double top at the break below the neckline here, well, that may be a signal for don't let me sit down for yourself. I like my setup to be more accurate. This is not looking too accurate. Just stick with Euro JPY. I will advise you stick with Euro JPY. Stay out of this one now. Then someone is asking about USD cards and Euro USD.
Sorry, sir, Euro JPY is still right? Sorry for cutting you.
You say Euro JPY is what?
It's a sell trade.
Yes.
Bearish is bearish, right?
Yes, this is Euro JPY.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Sir.
you see my screen is a bearish trade. Is a very, let me say a bearish setup. Please note the use of words. It's a setup. It's not yet a trade. It's a setup. So we're awaiting it to break the minus.
Okay.
Yeah, we're waiting for it to break out of the minor support, then sell. It has not broken out yet, so it's not a trade.
Okay. Okay.
But what we're doing is analysis. We're looking for potential setup that will lead to a trade. So when the breakout happens, then you can sell. So
All
like
right.
this is more of a better setup. This is a perfect rising wedge. It's better than what we are seeing on CHF JPY. So I'd rather you stick with Euro JPY compared to CHF JPY.
Now, what about the war? Is the war not affecting JPY on this trade? The war in Thailand and China. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, like I said earlier, whatever we're doing here is purely technical. This is
okay.
this is pure technical analysis with price action. Now, price action also factors in economic events, political events, fundamentals. It's factored into price because this price you're seeing is the behavior of human beings in the market. Their fear, whatever
Okay,
they're
sir.
doing, everything is factored into price action. So this is what the chart is showing us. This is what price is showing us. Price action simply talks about what price is doing, where price had been before, where it is now, and where it is projected to go. So sometimes fundamentals is factored already.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So okay, we still have to look at USD CAD and Euro USD. Just a second for that. Okay, this is Euro USD. Currently, Euro USD is kind of ranging. It's really ranging, not it's not having any specific direction yet. So okay, this 4 hour. Let's drop down to 1 hour and see. Okay, let's see if this can give us a setup. But then you see when you see the candles as tiny, it means there's no much activity in the market. You can see the candles are tiny. They are tiny, except this one that is big and this one. All these things matter, but the candles are small. It means the volatility is very low. You only trade when the market is volatile. When it's volatile means the market is active and you can likely take a trade that will lead to profit. Otherwise, it's just best to stay out. But then on Euro USD on 1 hour, this is still looking like a setup. It's looking like a setup, though not yet complete, but then it's looking like a triangle setup. It's looking like a triangle setup. Price may go and then come down. So okay, with this, let's be we are bearish biased on Euro USD with this setup here. It's looking more like a bearish setup. We wait for price to break out downwards. Now for Euro USD, just like for USD, we say we are bullish buyers. Euro USD, we are bearish buyers, and the news that will come up by 1:30 p.m. CPI will also determine the direction of this instrument. So I would say it's preferable you hold on these trades till the news is released, especially for the dollar instrument. For the dollar instrument, I would say it's advisable you wait, let the news be released. If the news tallies with our technical analysis, then you can hit your trade. Or if it's against it, then just hold on. But then there are other instruments you've analyzed which, if they evolve between now and then, you can take them like Euro JPY, GBP JPY, GBP and GBP AED. You can take those ones. Those ones are not dollar denominated. So for the person asking about Euro USD, we are bearish buyers on Euro USD. Okay, Mr. Lee asking about US 2000. I'll get there. I thought I've already mentioned it, but then I'll still go back. Oh, so USD card is what we're looking for now. All right, this is USD card. USD card so currently is not showing any direction. You can see the charts. Nothing. If price has not, if it has gotten to the end of the trend and we're expecting reversal, probably, but then we're not seeing any clear. There's no clarity as regards this. So for now, uh, let me go to 4 hours. Daily again. So on the daily time frame, let's look at weekly. Okay, on the weekly time frame, this is a resistance, and price on the daily time frame, price is forming. Now this is a trade for someone who is patient anyway. It's a swing trade, shoulder, head, and the second shoulder, then it's going to drop. In terms of pattern, that's the head and shoulder pattern. And okay, we are seeing a similar head and shoulder pattern again on 4 hours, shoulder, head, and shoulder. All right, I think there's a trade here. I didn't cite it earlier. Okay, so if that's the case, then this becomes the neckline. So you can take a sell on USD card if price breaks the neckline here downwards. If price breaks the neckline downwards, you can take a sell and you can target the support level as a take profit level. So you should have something close to some 50 pip movement. This is a valid head and shoulder. So it's head and shoulder on the daily time frame, another head and shoulder on the 4 hour time frame. It's a good trade to sell. But like I said, just wait for the breakout of price. You can set, okay, otherwise, just so that you don't miss out, you can set the pending order somewhere around here. That means you will take in less profit, but then it's much more uh, likely guaranteed trade. You can set a pending order at the tip of the shadow here. so that and you can take your profit. That's about 35 big profits at the support level here. Okay, I think I already answered you as a card. So we look at US 2000. You're welcome, Shehu Abdullahi. US 2000. Oh, okay. I've not checked this. Excuse me. Now, yes, 2000 is one of the trades we analyzed earlier, and finally, it already broke out of the rising wedge. You can see the breakout here. Currently, it's looking as if it's going up. Now, this is the scenario here. Let me go to the, I think, daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we will cite a support, 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 a resistance, and equally a resistance. So we're expecting it to sell. So 4 hour, that is confirmed on 4 hour also with the rising wedge. Now, price has broken out of the rising wedge. The possibilities we have, one, as price is going downwards, this could form a shoulder head, and this can form another shoulder, then drop. Or this might go up to this level, become a double top, then drop. Or thirdly, price may just hit the resistance here, form a rejection candle, then drop. But ultimately, it's going to be a sell. So what do we do? If it's any of those patterns, the safest thing we can do is to take this level here as, if it's a head and shoulder, take this level as your neckline. Take it as your neckline. So once price breaks up below the neckline here, then you can take a sell. So we still remain bearish biased on US 2000. Still going to be a very long sell trade. It's a swing trade, so it's not something that will evolve, in a short while. It might take, today's already Wednesday. If price breaks out today below this level, tomorrow Friday is still selling. Maybe it's next week it will still be selling. But the breakout first. Okay, so that's analysis. Any question? Question.
So please, what time is to this class? Sir.
You mean the live online class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think it should be 11 o'clock or so. I think it should be 11.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I said based on the analysis we're having since on Monday regarding JPY PS, it
Yes.
seems like even one trade we haven't take from JPY PS.
Because the market has not moved in that direction.
Yes.
If you observe, the market has been ranging since Monday, and I explained earlier when we started that the market we've not had any high impact news since Monday. Now, fundamentals control the market. When you see volatility in the market, it's because we have fundamentals. So when there's no fundamental, even when you have some technical setup, it may not work out because it's not having the push to make it to work out. So hopefully today there's going to be a news on USD by 1:30 p.m. I think it's CPI or so. That could put some volatility into the market and we'll see some action.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. But sir, sometimes they have peers that are opposite of USD dollar. Dollar. That maybe for sometimes if dollar is buying, those peer will be selling, and if dollar is selling, those pair will be buying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what are those pairs? So that maybe for sometimes if we have a high impact news and the dollar is buying, we can also look for those pairs and be looking for sell.
Now, I don't advise you just sell a pair because it's opposite the dollar. See, I always tell people, have a reason for a sell, have a reason for a buy. For example, gold is opposite, we say it is negatively correlated to the dollar, meaning if the dollar is buying, gold is selling. But you don't just sell just like that. For me, I prefer you can back it up with a technical setup. That way, it will be more accurate because news come out, the volatility level is not always the same. Even though it may show you red, it does not mean that sometimes some news will really move the market so much like that. So if you just go and place a trade just because you said it's opposite, it's better you stick with the dollar. That one you know there'll be action. Leave the one that is opposite it. You are more guaranteed of action on the dollar. And even the dollar itself, some of it you need to still check technically to confirm, setups. It's not, you may not need to trade all because some will move more than the others. So concentrate more. See, the more accurate you become in trading, the lesser trades you take. It's not about the plenty trades. It's about the little trades that are accurate and does not, you have minimal losses. That is what is most important. So if CPI is going to be released this afternoon by 1:30 p.m., I already showed us a setup on USD CHF. There's a bullish setup on USD CHF. I think there's a bearish setup on Euro USD. Those are good trades. But we didn't see anything on AUD USD or New Zealand USD. So you don't say because the news comes out, it favors the dollar. So let me say the USD. We didn't see any setup on them. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So as much as possible, filter your trades. Filter them as much as possible. Only concentrate on the important ones. That way, you will have more winning trades and less losing trades.
Okay, sir.
Okay, in the absence of further questions, thanks to everyone for joining this analysis today. We'll see you some other time. Bye.